I'm gonna start this video off by saying that this is going to be probably the most vulnerable that I've ever been in front of a camera, and it's kind of weird. I have been feeling like an absolute mess. In fact, I've been feeling like a mess for about 2 years now, and that's me being generous. Saying 2 years, that's generous. I've been trying to keep it together for my business. I've been trying to keep it together for my socials, trying to keep it together for my own sanity. I need it to be okay. But everything inside of me has been shifting, has been changing, and I have been feeling like for a long time that I can't create the way that I used to anymore. And I cannot operate the way that I used to anymore, which really sucked because I used to be so much. I used to do so much. I used to have so much drive towards creating the type of videos that I did. I used to have so much creativity that really gave me my career. And I got my first client before I even got out of school. I did work for magazines. I did work for Singapore Fashion Week. I was always at different events, and I wasn't even 20 when it all began. I feel like I always had it. And I thought that I would always have it because I always knew what I liked, what I wanted, and I went for it. But over the last 2 to 3 years, things really started changing, and I started breaking down. What used to work for me just didn't anymore. I used to hang out a lot at like hip-hop clubs, events. I was always surrounded by things, people like that. I loved the energy that it gave me. A lot of my works were very musically influenced, and all the videos I did, all the fashion videography that I did were all revolving around this scene, this energy, and so it was kind of like my life, right? I used to love hip-hop, trap. I loved Oriental trap. That was my shit. I still do. And one day I turned on Spotify to just get to my usual playlist. I wanted to feel pumped up again. I wanted to feel energized and ready to get going again. I played something off my usual playlist, but the moment I heard the beat, I felt like puking. I felt like puking. It made me so nauseous. Even now when I'm speaking about it, I could remember how that felt. It was such a disgusting feeling. I don't know how else to explain it, but I just felt like hurling everything out of me. I tried to play the next track, felt the same. Tried to play the next track again, heard the beat. Ugh. What am I supposed to do now? Everything that I do revolves around this. How can I feel this way towards literally the type of feel and vibe that gave me my creativity? That was really the beginning of me breaking down. I'm gonna be honest, the last 2 years, things has gotten pretty bad. I've had physical manifestations of what I was feeling on the inside. I remember being sent to the hospital because I got a random gastritis out of nowhere, fever and aches out of nowhere. I had like a year-long acne outbreak that I could not fix with vitamins, with the skincare products that I kept piling on. Nothing worked. And I also remembered having these terrible bouts of depression and anxiety attacks. It was just I tried to keep it together for a very long time, especially when I was trying to come back onto YouTube. I was always trying to get to the next leg of my healing. I want to be the healed Leona, not even present myself. I just want to be healed. And so to give myself like a head start to everything when I was trying to come back on here and do things right, I filmed 6 videos, and I was like, okay, I can just post the first one and give myself like this beautiful head start so I never have to feel rushed. So after I posted the first one, I was like, yes, let me get the momentum going. I'm gonna film my next one so I'll always have enough videos, right? I sat down in this very spot. I was doing nothing crazy. Out of nowhere, I just sprained my back. I stood up and I was like, fuck, couldn't walk anymore. And I was still optimistic about it. It hurt like a bitch. Honestly, it hurt like a bitch. But I was still being optimistic about it. I was like, look, I still have 5 videos. I can still go on posting. I will heal in between that. And that will give me enough time to go on. I was like, yes, Leona, you got this. As the weeks went by and I was trying to present myself as my best self, behind the scenes, I was in a lot of fucking pain lah. Couldn't sit right. I couldn't sit like this. I couldn't walk properly. I couldn't do anything properly. And I remember just shitting on myself because I was so angry that I couldn't get it together. Like my body couldn't get it together. And that really made me fall into like this deeper hole of depression. Just like, like for a very long time, I feel like I was just stuck in a very foggy forest. I was deep in the woods. There's tons of trees around me. I can't see anything. Everywhere was like grey and misty. I can't see any shred of light. I tried running. For 2 years, I tried running. I always tried running and getting to the next point, trying to heal myself off of my past traumas. During the past 2 years, I really did shed a lot of myself behind, dealing with the kinds of pain that has been felt but not dealt with. I'll sit down wholeheartedly to heal it, and then something else will pop up. So I just kept running. I just kept trying to heal, like, oh my god, no, okay, I'll fix this, run again. But I was getting nowhere. I was not running in circles. I was just running. But it never seemed to lead me anywhere. It never seemed to have like a stop to it. And so in August, after I sprained my back, I was like, dude, I'm gonna stop running. The moment I stopped running, everything became clear to me. It's what you might be expecting for me to say. But it didn't. The truth is that it didn't. I was still lost. But this time round, I was completely jaded. This was the analogy that I gave my brother. It's not even an analogy, it was exactly how I was feeling. I was still in the woods. But I have decided to stop running. And so I sat down in the middle of it all and just like gave up. There was nothing beautiful about it. I just gave up. I surrendered. I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna run anymore. And from a spiritual point of view, I understood what was happening. Especially 1 year into my journey, I started researching about what could possibly be happening to me, that everything was breaking down like that, because I was so lost. I'm a very spiritual person, but throughout this journey has made me like become more attuned to whatever that's happening. I understood that I was actually going through something that's called the dark night of the soul. By the way, if you're resonating with my story and you're feeling fucking lost as well, right? Please go research Dark Night of the Soul. The people that are on here on YouTube, they will help explain the different stages of it, and that really gave me like a much better understanding of what I was going through. And honestly, without it, I feel like I would have been in a much worse position. Like going through all of that shit, fucking horrible. Okay, so bad. But at least with this spiritual understanding of what I was going through, I could have like, not that I could envision it, but at least I still had like this shred of hope somewhere that this would be ending at some point. At least I knew that, okay, by the end of it, I would have gained a few things, or actually I gained a lot out of this entire process. But imagine if I didn't understand what was happening to me. I would have been shit that's way worse, because I probably would have felt that there was no hope. There was no hope in anything anymore, that I'm just gone. There was no point in anything anymore. I did feel like that for a while, but thank God, really. But thank God, like literally, thank God for spirituality and my understanding of all these things. It helped me. I would say I did not glide past this, okay? This was not a glide. It was not a smooth ride. But at least I had a bit of hope that it would end. In August, I reached this place called the Void. I felt empty. I was like, fuck, I'm done. I sat down in the middle of the forest and I just surrendered. I'm not gonna run anymore. I was like, fine. I'm fucking tired. I was so tired. I didn't want to try anymore. I just wanted everything to end. I explained it to my brother that I just couldn't see a way out anymore, and I'm like giving up. I didn't have a map. I had no map, no light. So I surrendered. And I let myself be consumed by it. Like, I'm not gonna try anymore. I'm so tired. And then random conflicts started happening. I just came out of nowhere. I started being triggered by like things that came out of the blue for me. And I remembered reading somewhere or watching somewhere that at the very last leg of your spiritual awakening or the dark night of the soul, they will just find some way to like jab you a few more times. It always gets a little bit worse before you reach the end. And I don't understand why, but I just had this deep knowing that I was at the end of it, that I could finally get through this. It was the last leg of my healing. I continued walking in the direction that I want to move myself into. And true enough, I'm starting to see the light. In fact, as I'm sitting down right now, I can tell you that I finally see the light. It took so long. It took so fucking long. But dude, we're here. I need to clean my tears. At the beginning of my journey, I was so desperate to go back to who I was before, to operate the way that I used to, because I thought that was what worked. But then I slowly realized that the whole point of this entire process of the dark night of the soul, the spiritual awakening, is not for us to move backwards. It's to break us into pieces painfully, so that we have no choice but to shed everything that isn't serving us anymore, isn't needed for our new journey, our new path, so that we may build ourselves up into a whole new world of possibilities of who we could become.